boy, do we have an extraordinary guest. I am so excited to have her here. Legendary jazz vocalist, songwriter, author. As I mentioned, 60 years in the business and still going strong. We're talking the incredible, not only is she a legendary jazz artist, vocalist, talking about Melba Joyce, she's also a recording company president, award-winning songwriter, professor of jazz history and research. That's our special guest, and we're so honored. Her career has spanned 6 decades of sharing top billing with such giants of the music world as Louis Armstrong, Sarah Vaughn, Louis Jordan, Lionel Hampton, Tony Bennett. She has sung with Joe Williams, Marvin Gaye, Smokey Robinson, and many, many others. What's more, she has been twice nominated as Best Female Vocalist by Downbeat's Readers Poll. And every once in a while, a special someone defies the odds and manages to make his or her talent shine again and again in different venues, on stages, bandstands, and recording studios, or on tour. Such a person is our very special guest in this rare exclusive conversation, not interview, really conversations are what we have on the show. Melba Joyce, born in Dallas, Texas, grew up under the musical influences of her mother and grandparents as well. Her father, Melvin Moore, sang jazz, toured and recorded with Dizzy Gillespie's big band. Later, her family moved to Los Angeles, and Melba found herself opening for such renowned artists as Miles Davis and Freddie Hubbard, Smokey Robinson, The Miracles. Yes, really incredible, too. She's appeared on Broadway in Black and Blue as an understudy for all three principals, too. Linda Hopkins, Ruth Brown, Carrie Smith. She went on to star in the international tour of the same production. She's appeared from Amsterdam to Beijing, London, and Bordeaux to New York, Dallas, Beverly Hills, Little Rock, Arkansas, you name it. She's even toured the war-torn fields of Vietnam to entertain the troops at the height of the war. An experience that raised her social conscience to new heights, too. She was also appointed as panelist for the Congressional Black Caucus of Women in Jazz Forum. She produced the first Women in Jazz Festival at Harlem's Schomburg Center for Black Culture and became a principal in the Day of the Child series for UNICEF, funded by the National Endowment for the Arts. And she's produced Jazz for Special People, a music education series for those living with disabled situations. Yes, isn't that amazing? Melba has toured overseas as part of the Kennedy Center USA Jazz Ambassadors Program in Africa, which included a special performance at the Kennedy Center. She's also appeared in the series Harlem Speaks, which honors those who keep jazz alive in Harlem. She has been honored by the Smithsonian Institute's National Jazz Museum in Harlem, the Central Park Conservancy, and has been an adjunct for the International Harpist Competition in Russia called the Golden Harp. She and her big band have played at Lincoln Center's Midsummer Nights Swing with a band that equals parts men and women, gaining the attention of jazz, WBGO radio, and so much more. In 2021, she was inducted into the California Jazz Blues Hall of Fame, and she's been a delegate to the United Nations Conference on Women, and she is the author of Jazz Widows. In addition, if that's not enough, folks, put a pot of coffee on because she's amazing. She is the founder of the Women's Jazz Festival in New York and so much more. That gang for you is just the short list of the incredible accomplishments of this extraordinary American legend, worldwide legend, actually, the incomparable Melba Joyce. She is positioned. We've been chatting, actually. We've had such a wonderful day together. We have been chatting for the last several hours off the air, and it's been absolutely a beautiful experience. I'm very honored to welcome her to the show, gang, coming to us live and direct from her beautiful home in Pasadena, California. Tonight, she is a lady in red, the incomparable Melba Joyce. Melba, welcome to the Jim Masters Show live. It's an honor and pleasure to have you here.
Hello, Jim. Thank you. It's an honor for me to be here and to meet you. We've had
same here. Haven't we not been having a lot of fun with our chat the last couple of hours?
Yeah.
Getting everything all tested and set up. You're going to sing for us as well. Welcome. You know, that was just the short list. I cannot believe, you know, the amount of things that you've been involved in, the incredible influences that you've had, and the people you've had an opportunity to collaborate and work with. But going back home to those early days for you, Melba, your family really a significant influence in your life, sort of giving you that entree into the arts and the musical world, right?
Yes. Yeah, from my father, my grandfather, who did barbershop quartet, my great grandmother, my aunt, my mother was a singer. She didn't like show business so much, so she bowed out. But she was
Yeah,
a good singer, you
she was a
know.
good singer.
Mhm.
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah,
So
my daughter
your daughter, yes,
and
absolutely.
my two sons. Yeah, I have a grandson, but he's a sculptor. He
Is he
studied.
really?
Yes, his name is Matthew.
So there is a lot of creativity in your family, huh?
Yes, there is. Full of
So
it.
early on, again, growing up, for you, you had the influences of the family. And what kind of music was on in your house when you were a little girl growing up?
Jazz and R&B
Yeah.
and some
Who
gospel.
and some gospel. Who were
Mhm.
some of your favorites too that you were listening to as you were coming up the ranks?
Well, I love Tony Bennett
Oh,
very much.
yes.
Sarah Vaughn, Louis Armstrong,
Mm.
Ruth Brown, Linda Hopkins, who I had the pleasure of working with, Carrie Smith. I understudied them on the three of them on Broadway in a show
Oh.
called Black and Blue, which was a wonderful show.
Now, what was it like being a part of that? That had to be absolutely incredible, huh?
Yeah, it was the most thrilling experience. One of the most thrilling experiences of my life, really.
I
Yeah.
tell you, it had to be. How did that opportunity come your way, Melba?
Well, I heard that they were holding auditions for Black and Blue, and I think it was Carrie Smith that told me about it. And I said, I'm going to go by there and see. So I interviewed, I auditioned for them, and they liked me, so I had the job. Simple as that. Just go for it.
Yes, just go for it. But I tell
Yeah.
you, just having that opportunity early on in your career is extraordinary. What are some of the other opportunities that came your way early on? What is there? If you look back for you, Melba, is there a pivotal moment or opportunity that came your way that really set things in motion for you?
I think it was Louis Armstrong.
That's a big one.
I was in Dallas at the Dallas State Fair, where the State Fair is, at the Dallas, what's the name of the place? It's a performance center on the grounds of the Fair Park,
Oh,
and
yeah.
State Fair Music Hall.
Oh,
And
yes.
I was there with a group that's called, it was a Dallas jazz group, and there was about 20 of us. So we had those cheap tickets up in the nosebleed section, and I was sitting up there thinking that I was going to get to see the show. And all of a sudden, here comes the woman who's the president coming
Yes.
down the aisle, and she's saying, "Melba, come and go with me." I said, "What is it?" She says, "You're going to sing with Louis Armstrong." And I said, well, she was known for being a bit different, so I didn't know what she was,
Sort
what
of
she was.
excited and rambunctious.
Yes, yes. So she drug me down the aisle. I had to step over all these people because I was in the middle, in the center. I like that seat. And
Yes.
so she says, I said, "What are you talking about?" She says, "Well, I went back there and I was talking to him, and he was putting that stuff on his mouth that, trumpet players put on their mouth." I said, "Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Yeah, I knew what it was because my ex-husband was a trumpet player."
Ah,
So I said, "Yeah." So she says, so I told him, I says, "We have a singer here that I want you to hear." And she kept talking and talking and talking to him. And so he told her, "Bring her on."
mm,
So we're almost running backstage. So we finally got back there. And so Louis Armstrong says, "So they tell me you're a singer." And I said, "Yes, sir, I do my best." So he said, "You're going to sing with the guys and us tonight. So we're going to play one song, and then I'll bring you out. What do you want to do?" So I
wow.
said, "I'll do Misty in
Wow.
C." So he said,
Misty and
"Okay."
Sea.
So that's what we did. The show
Louis
went on,
Armstrong.
and I sang, and with me being in my hometown, I got a great round of everybody was very appreciative of the performance.
Yeah.
So, and I was so excited. And I
Wow.
came back and Louis Armstrong talked to me and talked to me. He says, this is what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be seeing this. You're supposed to make your living doing this.
Yes.
He says, and you should do this. So I said, okay, you know, from an authority like him, you know.
Could
So,
you imagine?
yeah,
He's
I think,
asking you what you would like to sing? That's
yeah,
incredible.
yeah. So unbeknownst to me, he was there for a $1 million ball that this millionaire lady had in Highland Park. She and her
Yes.
husband they owned oil wells and stuff, and they had this $1 million ball every year. So he was there to perform for that.
Mm.
So he told her about me, and she had this country club she belonged to. So they got me a job right away at this club.
That's
And
incredible.
it was private, and but they let the people, during the time I was going to be there, they allowed people to come in who knew me. So I was there for 2 weeks, and that really kicked it off for me. It was great. It was a great experience. I'll never forget it. Never, ever.
That's incredible. What did that that lead to next for you, Melba?
Well, I tell you one thing it did, it added to my confidence as a performer. And it gathered interest from other people who were at the concert. And it was all in the newspapers, and they were calling me the singing Cinderella. So they didn't have a shoe that I needed to fill, but to fit me, but it fit my life, and it started off a wonderful life for me, added to a wonderful life for me.
Oh, you not only fit the shoes, you fit the bill in a glorious way, my friend. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Extraordinary experiences working with some of these amazing talents. Again, you say starting out with somebody as legendary as Louis Armstrong, who are I mentioned a little bit about it in the introduction there, but who are some of the others that you've had the opportunity to work with and collaborate with and perform with? You shared the billing, top billing with some of the most extraordinary people in the music industry, Melba.
Yeah, Miles Davis was one. It was right after the Watts riot, and someone
Yes.
got a grant to have a performance, and they included me in it, and it was like the Watts Jazz Festival. And I was, pictures all in the paper. It was Willie Bobo and who else was on the show? Oh, just a host of, everybody was so famous, and Gene Ammons. And we just had a great time that day. Miles didn't stay there too long. He kind of did his gig and left. But anyway, it was wonderful getting to meet him and to kind of know him for the few hours we were together it was at the Shrine Auditorium. Los Angeles, which used to be the place where they used to have the Academy Awards there.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, it's a great place. Really was wonderful honor. It was one of those honorable places I'd worked in, and I was so excited about that too.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, you're having these incredible honors and these wonderful opportunities coming your way, Melba. Take us through a little bit more of your journey, some of the other things that sort of developed as people were really realizing your extraordinary passion and your resilience and your tenacity and your desire to want to perform and to present for others and make others smile, and the incredible voice that you developed. Well, it's a gift you were born with, but then fine-tuned, as a wonderful instrument that it is. Tell us about some of those other fabulous opportunities early on that started to really come your way as people started to notice this Melba is extraordinary.
Well, I began to meet people who were doing festivals in Europe, and this guy says, I'm going to bring you to Europe. And I said, right. So the next thing I knew, I was there. And I was I met this trumpet player in New York when I moved to New York. And he was connected to everybody. And his wife, so was his wife. And they started getting me gigs. They got me one in Yugoslavia. And then I went from there to Germany, to France, to Spain, and just all the great festivals. And my daughter I had sent her to college. We'd sent her to college, and she called home about 9 months after she was there. And she says, "I'm quitting the school and I'm going on the road with the Count Basie Orchestra." I said, "Really? See ya." So she started her career off singing, and she's still with that band. She still plays with them. She's going to be here at the Hollywood Bowl in July, I think it is, July 28th. And so through her connection, I met the Count Basie Orchestra and the affiliates, and they hired me to be with the band. So I wound up being with the band for 8 years, which was a good experience, but it meant I had to get new charts because, this was like, we're talking about 18-piece band. So you got to have music for that. And I have a friend who lives here in Pasadena now who was my arranger. His name is Steve Huffstetter. He has a big band himself now. And he was here in Pasadena, he and his wife. And it was just so thrilling to, have all those experiences with him. He did a lot of my big band music, for me. And including I've been to Russia 8 times. So I've been to 6 countries all across the world. And it's just been a thrilling, unusual, and educational time for me to meet so many talented people. And we had so much fun and cooking and talking and spending time with the families. And
the best.
Yes, really the best. Yes.
You mentioned your extraordinary daughter as well. Matter of fact, we had Scotty Barnhart here on the show, of course, the director of the Count Basie Orchestra and phenomenal, legendary jazz trumpet player. And he was a guest on the show. Folks would like to see that episode. To look for the Scotty Barnhart episode with him. He played live for us as well, Melba, which was really cool. Scotty is good people, isn't he? He's
great people. I really enjoyed working with the Basie band. Yeah. I went a lot of places with him, in that 60 years in 60 countries. I went a lot of places with them. Yeah. Had some very extraordinary experiences.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Now, your daughter is, again, another spectacular performer, talking about Carmen Bradford, part of the Count Basie Orchestra, and so much more. Tell us about, I know you're so proud of your daughter.
Yes, I am very proud of her. She just finished singing 3 songs for the Cannes Film Festival.
Oh,
and I'm really hoping that the songs will be, I'm hoping a part of her life can be connected to the Academy Awards, because she really did a great job on these 3 songs that she was singing. She did a fantastic job. She's really been a wonderful daughter, and she's really been diligent, and she's very, very much like her father. Yeah. She rehearses every day, hours and hours and hours. She can get it right, and she's still going on over again,
Isn't that incredible? We'll have to get her on as a guest too. That would be a pleasure.
You will.
Carmen
absolutely.
On. Yeah.
I'm sure she'd love to do it. Yeah, I'm sure she would.
Now look at this wonderful photo that goes back a little bit. Wow.
Oh, that's Bertha Hope.
Yes.
My good friend, great pianist.
Yes. Now you've worked with her, right?
Oh, yes, lots of times. A whole lot when I moved to New York. I was here in the Altadena area, like
she's another,
28 years ago.
Incredible talent.
Yeah, I spent 30 years in Altadena, and then I moved to New York. Yeah.
That's right. You had, I think you were telling me it was about 27 years you spent in New York, right?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I was a professor at Medgar Evers College in Brooklyn, and I was a professor at Old Westbury in Long Island.
On Long Island, yes.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy that?
Oh, I did. I was there for 14 years. I think I enjoyed it so much because I would leave on Wednesday from work and go to places like Jamaica to do a festival, to Europe, and get back here in time to go to class, get there and back in time to go to class on Monday, like 8 o'clock. I'd leave the airport in Long Island and go straight to my class with my suitcases and everything. Wow. And I'd leave from there. And it was really such an unusual experience, I
would imagine.
I haven't spoken to anybody in this business yet that did the things that I really had the chance to do. I went to China, to the United Nations Conference on Women. And I think President Clinton was the president then. And I wrote a song about Vietnam. And when I went over there to sing for the troops, because the honorary mayor of Hollywood, whose name was Johnny Grant, I met him someplace and he said, "Do you like Western movies?" I said, "Oh, I love them. I loved Hopalong Cassidy when I was a kid." And so he says, "I want you to watch my show." So I watched it for about 5 days. And I called him on Friday. I said, "Well, you said you're connected to the USO. You didn't have any Black people on the show. You chose to be to go to USO with the USO to Vietnam. Why?" And I said, "There are a lot of Black soldiers over there fighting too." So he says, "Well, none of them nobody's really volunteering." I said, I just had to tell him. I said, "You have to go. It's your responsibility to make sure some Black people get over there." At that time, I didn't know that James Brown had already been.
James Brown was there. Yeah.
He just told them he wanted to go, and they just did what James Brown wanted to do,
We had James Brown's incredible trumpet player as a guest on our show too, Holly Farris. I don't know if you ever worked with Holly. He's extraordinary. And the stories that he told about working with James, really epic stories. James, an incredible talent as well. And Holly Farris, extraordinary. And they'd worked together for years. Really amazing. The music community, as large as it is quite small, isn't it? Everybody knows everybody. Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Yeah. So I met James Brown at a Songwriters Hall of Fame gathering. And he was very, very nice, and he was really strict, and he really had a lot of discipline, and his band was fantastic and is fantastic. Even now he's still working. The band is still working, even though he's gone on.
He's right. They're still going. Holly is still a part of it, and talks about it often, some of the epic performances that they do. And it's really something special, that they're still out there celebrating the legacy of James Brown. Boy, do we have some really cool photos I want to look at too. Look at this.
Oh, that's my Live in London cover. Yes. I did that in London, and I shared the bill with Monty Alexander at Ronnie Scott's, the famous jazz club. It's been the oldest jazz club, and they don't call London Europe, but it is.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, but anyway, I told them, I said, I didn't know any of the musicians until I arrived there. And so I was trying to get Ronnie to let me record for his company. He says, "The next time you come, we're going to record you with our company." He says, "But I will get the engineers to tape you, so we'll have that." So I said, "Great." So we taped it. When they gave it to me, it was on a little disc. And I said, "What can I do with this here?" They said, "Take it home and do it." So I did. I took it home back to New York, and had it edited it, everything, and started my own record company called Baraka Records, from a verse in a story in the Bible where this man became king, young guy, and there were some people who wanted to take this country. There were 2 people, and he said, and so he prayed about it, and God said to him, "Just go down there where they want you to fight." And he didn't know what to do except to obey God's word. And he went down, and what happened was, these people's like, "You and I are going to do something. We've decided to do something." And I said, "Well, and it starts to go sour. And you said, "Well, it was your idea." I said, "No, it was your idea." And you said, "No, it was your idea." And then we get to this argument. So they got into such an argument, they started fighting each other and killed each other, all the people in their tribe. And so the remaining people, the young king and his people, went over and collected all of everything that was valuable from the dead people, and took them to an area in the valley called Baraka. And that's why I named my record company Baraka Records. So I started this company, and I put it out, and everywhere I went around in the country, around the world rather, I sold the CDs, and used to be able to get them on CD Baby, which is not operating exactly the way it was now. But I hear you can get it on Amazon. Yeah.
That's fantastic. So you can. So that people go to Amazon and just type it in, and it pops up. Look at this one too.
Oh yeah, I did that in Austria.
That was
Yeah,
in Austria, huh?
yeah,
Tell
yeah.
us about this one.
I had a friend who was going to Austria, and he says, Melba, if something happens for me, I want to make sure that you come over too. So I was doing a vesper at a church in Harlem, and he came to New York with his producer,
Mhm.
and he brought the producer there, and the guy heard me, and so he says, I want you to come to Europe. So I went to Austria. We got to be very close. He had a jazz festival himself. This guy's name was Paul Zahner, and he's
Mm.
still having festivals, and he has a Christmas show that he does every year. He's a wonderful producer. So he produced this recording, and I had a great time doing it. It was wonderful. Really was great. They chose all the songs, and the musicians, we all got together and had a great time making that thing come alive, you know. So I'm happy
Wow.
about those two. I have another CD that is not on the market now. It's just called Melba Joyce. And I made that over the years, you know, doing recordings. And I really should put that back on market. I'm going to take that. I promise you I'm going to take care of that very soon. It's called I Know Love.
Ah, that's perfect, huh?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
boy, that's
Yeah,
really
love
fantastic.
song I wrote called I Know Love. Yeah.
Look at that shot. You're knocking it out of the park here.
Oh yeah, I think that must have probably been in Russia.
Mm.
I believe it was in Russia.
It's
I was.
extraordinary. I mentioned that you've been doing this for some 60 years, which is incredible, still
Mm-hmm.
going strong. And you have literally seen all corners of the globe just about in your travels and tours and performances. Um, any favorite places that you've been on the tours and with the performances, places and memories that you have that stand out? Boy, that was wonderful. That was a great country, or that was just a terrific time. Any that stand out for you, Melba?
Uh, I liked Yugoslavia, what was
Mm,
left of
yeah.
it,
Yeah.
and I liked London. England is nice,
Yeah.
and but my favorite place is the United States of America. I love being at home.
Good answer. Yeah.
Hmm. Yes, I
Hmm.
do. Very
Yeah.
much so.
You're
Yeah.
comfortable at home. Look at this shot too.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that was in New York at the museum on Park Avenue
Mm.
in 72nd. It's quite a place. It's a beautiful place. So I took that there, and it was oh yeah, where was this? This was
This is with the orchestra, right? The Count
yeah, this
Basie.
was in Austria. It's
This
in
was in
Austria.
Austria as well.
Yeah,
Now that's a
Paul.
beautiful country, isn't
It's
it?
a gorgeous country. Yeah, and Paul Zahner. This was in his place. He has a farm, and he took his big barn and
Hmm.
made a performance center out of it, and it's really beautiful. It's really wonderful.
That's
And
fantastic.
yeah,
Look at
yeah,
this one. This is beautiful too.
yeah. Where was that? Oh, this was a bunch of women in New York. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, international women in jazz. That's what that was.
That's what I was saying. You've had an involvement with, if not creating amazing organizations, being involved in lots of different organizations as well. I mentioned even United Nations and others. Tell us
Mhm.
about this wonderful give back charitable spirit that you have, wanting to sort of empower and inspire other people through your work, your experience, and your passion for life.
Well, my grandmother was the daughter ruler in the Elks organization, and they were always doing things for people. But my family is just that way. They're givers and sharers and people who always tried to help out wherever they could. So I think I just inherited from them because they loved giving. And I started singing and dancing when I was about 8 years old. I think I used to go to the YWCA and YMCA
Yeah.
in Dallas,
Yeah.
where I took dance classes and learned how to twirl the baton and all that. So when I got to high school, I was ready. I was really ready for Broadway because I'd gone to camp in Saginaw, Michigan, and I met a lot of friends who were from there. What happened was that this train went throughout the country,
Mm-hmm.
When they come to a state, they pick up a train with Girl Scouts on it, and they connect the train to the next train, and then they keep going around the country until they, had all these kids and young women rather. And I wanted to go back to New York because with the New York gang, I had met them, and because my father and stepmother lived in the Bronx. So they said, see if your mother let you come over and stay with us for a while. I did that, and I stayed in New York for a while. And as we were coming into the state of New York, I was riding between the trains looking, and the conductor says, you can't stand here. I was looking and seeing all these lights, and I got so excited. And I knew one day that I was going to live there. So I went on to New York and stayed there with my father and stepmother. And then I went back to California. I came back to California and stayed for a while and had children and raised my kids here. They went to high school here and finished and attended college. And that's I just decided after they were gone, I'm going to go to New York.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I did that.
Did you enjoy your time in the Big Apple? Did you really
Oh,
paint
yeah.
this town red, huh?
Yes, I did. I really had a great time. I made lots of friends. I'm still in touch with them. We stay in touch. I didn't get a chance to let everybody know about this show. I wish I had. But you can go online and get it, I guess, huh?
Yeah, we archive all
Mhm.
700 episodes in 2 years,
Wow.
Melba. I know when I told you that, you were like, wait, what? You talking 10 years? I'm like, 2 years, 700 episodes of the Jim Masters Show.
That's just unbelievable almost,
It's
It
a lot
really
of
is.
levity.
Yeah, you're right. It is. And I'm
A
glad
lot
I'm in
of
that
levity.
number. I'm glad I'm in that number because I'm having a wonderful time meeting you and getting to know you, and it's really been wonderful.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
great.
I know when we were chatting earlier today, it's as if we knew each other for 25 years. I know it's
Yeah.
just sometimes that happens, it's just
Yeah.
so automatic and so
Yeah.
beautiful. I
Yeah.
want to show,
Some people
yeah,
just meet each other and it's just instant friendship,
just an instant understanding of what life is
Mhm.
all about
Right.
empathy, kindness, caring,
Yes.
joy, appreciating the simple things,
Mhm.
blessings, respect.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and treating each other with admiration and
Mhm.
levity. We were laughing, you got to laugh too because the
Oh,
alternative's
yeah, we
not
had
so
some
hot.
funny things to laugh about. We're not going to that right now, huh?
Right. Something that involves a lamp, all that kind of stuff. In about a month, Melba
Right.
is going to be on QVC selling her own designer lamps
It looked
after
like that
today.
for a moment, huh? Believe it or not, when this store called Bullock's was in Pasadena, I worked there in the lamp department. I was an outstanding salesperson in the lamp department. My mother did direct sales, and when I was a kid, I used to go to meetings with her, so I learned a lot about that. So I was just selling this. How do you sell all these lamps? I said, I don't know. They just like them. They said, I don't know. You're the one that's talking them into buying them. I said, well, they must have needed them. They bought them, So I did that. And then when I was in New York, I headed an after school program called, what is the name of the program? Having a senior moment. I'm 82.
Did you hear what she just said, folks? 82. That is so hard to believe. When I said 60 years in the industry, they probably already were getting calculators out.
Right.
but you don't look at all, and you have a fresh spirit and
Thank
lots of
you.
life and enthusiasm and passion, and I think that's such a beautiful thing. We have some
Yeah.
wonderful things that you sent to us exclusively, which I really, really appreciate in this rare interview conversation that we are doing here. These are some precious things I know for you. There you are on the bill there with the Count Basie Orchestra, huh?
Yes.
Mm,
Yes.
that's
I'm,
incredible. Look
I
at the
don't know.
names on there too.
Yeah. I don't know where we were. It may have been Seattle
Yeah.
that gig was at. I'm not sure, but
And
I had a great time with them. 19 guys and one girl on the bus. We travel on the bus a lot. And then
look
I
at
went
this.
to I went to Europe with Panama Francis, who was a friend of my father's. He's a drummer, and he
Mm-hmm.
has a big band. He says, Melba, I want to be responsible for being the first one to take you to Europe. I want them to know that I brought you to Europe. So I went with him. We did a wonderful tour. As you can see, we went a lot of places.
Yeah, huh? Look at all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really
That's
great. It was really great. He's a great guy. And
wow.
that is the Women in Jazz Festival, where you saw the picture of Bertha Hope, and they presented me with an award. And I was looking at Sheila Anderson. She hosted my big band, because I started the Melba Joyce in a big band, and I had 9 women and 9 men, because they're always arguing about who's the best players. The girls are, the guys are. I said, I'll fix this. So I got the best 9 players I could find of women in New York. We had a wonderful concert at the Domrush Hall. Thanks to them.
If you want things done, if you want to get things done, Melba is your person. I like the way you describe it. I'm fixing to take care of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I did something in Pasadena called 100 Years of Jazz in Pasadena, where I got all the jazz musicians together in Pasadena at that time. Don't ask me what the year was. But I put a band together, and we were at this auditorium here in Pasadena. It was very successful. I just went through jazz history, kind of told the story, and people played the music. The guys played the music from those eras, you know.
That's the best, huh?
It was wonderful. Really
absolutely.
Wonderful.
Look at this one here too.
Yeah. That was I can hardly see what it says, but I remember that somebody got under my neck and took that picture. I think we were on a ship.
Everybody loves the neck shots, huh?
Right.
Not, but you look like $1 million there.
Yeah, I think we were on a cruise, and somebody took those pictures. Yeah. That was fun. Cruises are great,
aren't they? Yes.
They are.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're talking about a Lovely Cruise, Jim Master Show, Lovely Cruise to Bermuda from New York next year.
That's where we went.
I love Bermuda.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Been there twice, and every time we've gone to Bermuda, and it's so easy because the cruise ship just leaves from New York straight. I mean, it's only 600 miles out in the Atlantic, and it's such a beautiful place, Bermuda, isn't it?
Yes, it's lovely.
The people,
I met
the
a friend
food,
whose
the atmosphere.
had a hotel there, a motel their father built. Their father did a lot of the architecture as you go into the coast, right into Bermuda. It was just beautiful seeing the work this man had done. He was like 90 by the time I met him, but he was a wonderful architect and planner.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I tell you. And those beautiful coral reefs that they have that are so incredible. Yeah, it's a very picturesque island. Still, it has the Bermudian culture and a touch of the British culture as well, which is a kind of a really nice combination.
Yeah, it is a good combination. Yeah,
a really nice combination. We have some more wonderful things, celebrating your extraordinary career in the 60 plus years. Look at this one here.
That's a Pasadena. That's 100 years of the first 100 years jazz in Pasadena, where I put all those musicians together. Roland Smith, who's a trumpet player here, who has a studio in Pasadena, a great studio. So I did some recording over there. I was over there about 2 months having a rehearsal with a friend of mine, Lanny Hartley, who's a wonderful pianist, wonderful keyboardist. And I'm so grateful I was able to find him. He's gotten married to somebody, and I can't remember the lady's name, but she's kind of famous herself. Yeah. But he's very happy now. It was great to see him.
Yes. Isn't it nice when you get a chance to catch up with some of the folks that you've had an opportunity to work with over the years? And everybody talks about their family and the grandkids and just the different things that they've done. And I think that's really, truly a blessing. It really is.
Steve Hubstetter was in that band too, who's the guy who used to do my arrangements so long ago. Oh, and boy. His wife will be about 95 years old on the 18th of June. On the 18th of June, so I'm looking forward to going to her birthday party.
Wow. Happy birthday to her.
Yeah. Yeah, her name is Dee. She's a lady, sweet lady. I haven't seen her since I've been here
Look at this on the screen. Certificate of recognition.
Oh yeah.
And there's many for you, Melba.
Yeah, I was inducted into the Los Angeles and Jazz and Blues Hall of Fame this year. That's just the end of last year.
Congratulations. That's an honor.
Yeah, it is a great honor. I'm really honored to come back home. So, back, it's kind of a home, like coming home. And right away, they just, asked, told me they were going to give me this honor. There was a jazz singer here, was a good friend of mine. She passed on since I've been here, named Barbara Morrison. And I think she kind of picked out, and she's kind of was in charge of that. And she's passed on. We really miss her. She did some wonderful things for everybody here in California. But the beat goes on, I met some wonderful musicians here at a small club in Pasadena called 8441 on Washington Boulevard. And I ran into a guy that I'd worked with a big band. What's the name of the guy's big band? Anyway, he says, we work together. It's a famous, I don't know why I can't remember these names. Well, it's just kind of close to
it happens to everybody. Yeah, and then you can text me at 2:00 in the morning and I'll let everybody know tomorrow.
yeah, I'll do that because
it'll come to you late night, when you're having a snack.
Yeah. So
I'll call Jim.
Yeah. So I was sang with the big band and he was working with permanently. And his name is, he told me to say hi to my daughter because she'd work with this band too. And we were at this club. And then the piano player said that he and I worked together when I lived here years ago, in Altadena. And we just had a great, we went to this little place where they were working. One of my girlfriends who's passed on, whose daughter was a friend of my daughter's, my kids. And we didn't think we figured we were going to hear some jazz, but these guys were fantastic.
They were really
wonderful. God, they were wonderful. I really enjoyed them.
Well, speaking of wonderful, I know for those just joining us, our special guest exclusively here in this rare conversation interview is jazz legend Melba Joyce, as well as songwriter, author, philanthropist, you name it, record company owner extraordinaire, and wonderful mentor to many, professor, and you name it, immersed for over 60 years in the music industry. She's touched many lives through her music and inspired so many. She is our guest. I'm your host, Jim Masters. You're watching the Jim Masters Show live. If you haven't had a chance while watching, if you're liking what you're seeing and you're enjoying the conversation, we invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. That would be a blessing to us. Let us know you're enjoying all these episodes. And don't forget to also give us a nice like, and we would love that. And leave a comment for us on the YouTube channel as well. Now, in addition to the great conversation, and our very special guest is going to sing in a couple of minutes here as well, we have a few things we dug up here that we want to share. First of all, we have a sound check with you and the Count Basie Orchestra. It's about a minute or so, but it's really something special. And you can hear a little of the incomparable Melba Joyce doing her thing as they're doing a little sound check, sort of a little behind the scenes with the incomparable Count Basie Orchestra. Let's take a look at that right now. Gang, it's so nice to have you here on the Jim Masters Show live. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Much more to come. Mm. And Scotty Barnhart there again, who was a guest on our show, the Jim Master Show Live. He was epic. He played trumpet for us, and he heads up the Count Basie Orchestra as the music director. And there's just a little sound check as you're sort of getting things ready for the concert. And you probably remember that well, huh, Melba?
Yes, I do. Yes. I spent 8 years with them, and I had the most wonderful time. You know, they were like all like my brothers, like, you know, all the guys were very wonderful, and I really enjoyed being there with them, you know, and traveling with them and everything, and them making fun of me. Wonder how much money she's going to spend at this swap meet or this place. You know, we went to a place where there was things for sale. You know, they say, "Oh, you know, Melba's going to go in there and spend all the money."
You mean in between, like when you're not performing, you'd find swap meets in the local area?
Yeah, swap meets
hit them up?
or shopping malls, you know, all over the country, all over this country anyway. And so we'd all go shopping. And I think they knew more about calories and buying the best foods to eat and those kind of things, just as much as I did anyway. I was very surprised. They were very well versed in what to eat and how to take good care of themselves. That's why they sound so good and still play their horns. And
it's incredible, isn't it? The Count
Yeah,
Basie Orchestra.
really
If anybody gets a chance, because I know they're so excited because they're able to tour again and make their rounds. Scotty was telling us when he was a guest on the show. And again, I encourage folks to go back in our archives to watch that episode. So excited because they're back, on the road, doing their thing, making music. And, when you don't get a chance to do that because of everything that's happened the last 2 or 3 years, it could be very downing and depressing. But they're back out on the road and so happy. And you know what that feeling's like, right?
Yeah, I do. I really do know what that is. They're going to be at the Hollywood Bowl I think it's July 28th. And Carmen is going to be with them there also.
Your daughter. Yeah.
Yes, I'm looking
She's
forward
been with them how long now? Your daughter's been with the orchestra how long?
Oh, since she was in after she finished high school, she was there.
Wow.
And I can't remember what year that was when she finished, but she's on and off. She's been with other bands and other programs, but she's like the mainstay. That's her mainstay.
We're gonna go back.
She's also a professor at
she is.
What's the name of I told you the name of the school. What's the name of it? San Francisco Institute of Music.
Oh, yes.
She's in charge of the vocal jazz department there. It's a wonderful organization.
And
they do a lot of good work. Yeah, Carmen.
That is incredible. Yeah, she's something else, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Chip off the block. Yes.
She's making me proud.
Arts, obviously, the arts are really, front and center in your family. There's just this familial tradition of creativity, which is really, really fantastic, Melba. We're going to go back a little bit in time here. We dug up another musical treat. Again, for those watching live or even in Memorex, as we say, archive, she's going to perform for us as well live here exclusively on the Jim Master Show Live, which we are so honored she's going to do for all of you and for me. And we got a little bit of a clip here. This is you. I believe it's an outdoor concert. It might have been in New York, and you're doing a little bit of Body and Soul.
Oh, yeah. That was in New York.
That was in New York.
At a park, one of the main parks in Harlem. And it's a wonderful place, and we just have wonderful concerts there all the time. And it's a wonderful get-together. It's right on the freeway.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You like the open air concerts? There's something about open air. There's just something really special, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you remember the 1983 concert with Diana Ross when it was raining in Central Park?
Yeah.
Raining, and they wanted to stop it, but she wanted to continue. And then it turned into like a 2-day thing, and it wasn't supposed to because the first day it rained. And when you're a trooper, right?
Right.
Yeah.
She's due here in Pasadena at the Rose Bowl. She's maybe at the Rose Bowl. Yeah, I think it's the Rose Bowl.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, here is the incomparable Melba Joyce here on the Jim Masters Show live for all of you with a little bit of Body and Soul. Thanks for joining us, folks. Keep the comments coming. We've been showing some of them. If you'd like to comment in our JMS chat room, which is open and live right now during the show, subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's a gift for all the subscribers. There's no cost for that. And if you're enjoying this, give us a thumbs up. Leave a comment on the channel as well. Time for a little Body and Soul with a music legend, Melba Joyce.
You know Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance, so you only pay for what you need.
Like how I customized this scarf.
Check out this backpack I made for Marco.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Life's dreary for me. Days seem to be as long as years. I look for the sun, but I see none through my tears. Your heart must be like a stone to leave me here all alone. When you could make my life worth living by simply taking what I've said on giving. My heart is sad and lonely. For you I sigh, for you, dear, only. Why haven't you seen it? I'm all for you, body and soul. I spend my days in longing and wondering why it's me you're only to tell you I mean it all for you, body and soul. I can't believe it. It's hard to conceive it that you turn away romance. Are you pretending? It's like the ending unless I can have one more chance to prove it. My life a wreck you're making. You know I'm yours for just the taking. I gladly surrender myself to you, body and soul. John DiMartino. I can't believe it. It's hard to conceive it. That you turn away. Are you pretending? It looks like the ending. Oh, yes. I can't have one more chance to prove my life a rock you're making. You know I'm yours for just the taking. I'm ready to surrender myself to you. Body and soul. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
I love that. Takes you back a little bit. Tell us about that day. Look at that smile. Hey, we got to zoom in close.
Yeah, that was a wonderful.
You're very
time.
content and happy right now, Melba, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
That's
I
fantastic.
did some fun work and very creative things happened for me in New York. As I had said before, there was John DiMartino on the piano, who's a wonderful, one of the greatest accompanists I've ever worked with. He was really wonderful. And we were at Riverbank Park on the Hudson River.
In New York.
Everybody thinks we were on a boat or something, but we were actually.
It looks like it, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. And it's a great place in Harlem, and we go there, as often as possible for concerts from a lot of the jazz musicians in New York. Where everybody goes to New York to prove themselves.
Yes, if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere, right?
As the song goes, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, it was. I bore it for 27 years, so I really miss my children because I have twin sons here in New York. I mean, in California, in this area.
You do.
And I have a grandson who's here, who's a sculptor named Matthew Bradford, and he's here. So I'm with my family, except my daughter Carmen is in Georgia, Snellville, Georgia, which is right outside of Atlanta. But I had a wonderful time at that concert too. And I miss John DiMartino, but I have my friend Lanny Hartley, who's here that I worked with 50 years ago. And he's just as beautiful as he was 50 years ago. Wonderful art.
Incredible. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this.
Yeah.
More wonderful things that we're sharing sort of exclusively here. You've sent this material to our show in an exclusive way, all of this material, my friend. And it's really an honor to get to share it with our lovely audience. Look at this one.
Oh yeah, that was at Ronnie Scott's. And we did the show together. It was Monty Alexander, the great pianist, great jazz pianist. He's wonderful, from Jamaica. And we had a wonderful time at Ronnie Scott's. It was really something. And I told them, the engineers, to tape that for me and give it to me. They handed it to me on this little tape. I told you, I said, I can't play that here. He said, take it home. It was the beginning of my record company, so it was a great privilege to be there. I really had a lovely time. There was some wonderful people there.
Yeah.
This whole journey is wonderful. I'm not going back to Austria. They asked me to come in August, but with the war going on in Europe or anywhere in the world, I don't like to be flying around any place, because those missiles and those, you just never know where they're going to wind up. So I'm just not going to take a chance.
Stay home and enjoy the comforts of home for now, and exactly, and sing with us here on the Jim Masters Show as you're going to be doing soon, which I think is very gracious of you to do.
Thank you.
We've got
Thanks
some
for
more.
having me.
This is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is a special letter that you received, huh?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What was this one for?
This was for, I think it was for the Jazz Ambassador program that I did. You have to win that to become a Jazz Ambassador. And I won that and was also involved with something with women in jazz. And I think that letter is about that.
What an honor.
Yeah, I'm very honored. It was a wonderful experience. Yes.
Another incredible listing of those you were performing with the Count Basie Orchestra, and really just an incredible array of material and love and levity over the years. And of course, as I mentioned, your daughter is a rock star herself. She's just really knocking him dead, huh? Again, Carmen Bradford, again, her daughter, one of her fabulous children, very artistic children.
Thank you. Yes, she's quite wonderful. She really is. I'm very proud of her and the work that she's done, work that she's doing. She's going on and on and on.
I mean, you've done so much in 60 years, my friend. Is there anything that you haven't done yet? You're a performer, you're a songwriter, you're also an author too. Tell us about that, having written a book.
Yes. Well, I took that from my thesis when I received my master's degree at Rutgers University in New Jersey. It's called Jazz Widows. So it's a collection of women who were married to jazz musicians. And it's very, very interesting. It's a wonderful book. And I hope to get it published very soon because the women tell me about their lives and what they did, what it took to keep the family together. Because, there's not always a jazz show going on. And the family has to go ahead and go on and keep living. And the wife is the one who kept them going and kept their husbands going with their enthusiasm and support. So these interviews about that. It's wonderful because there's some great women behind these guys.
Absolutely. Again, it takes a village. It takes a lot of love and levity and support. Patience. Yes, absolutely. Crystal says, "You're amazing, Melba." Absolutely loving it.
Those lovely comments.
These are our lovities. Yes, they subscribe to our JMS, our Jim Masters Show TV
Kathleen
channel.
Walker. I think she must be a singer herself because those only notes there. That's her comments.
they are using emojis to celebrate you with hand claps. Merlin's in Canada, and Austin says a beautiful song, and Crystal says I've always loved jazz music. It's so comforting and relaxing. Yes, some absolutely beautiful comments. Jen Barry's watching in Pennsylvania. Melba, though your vocals are a beautiful instrument, do you play any musical instruments yourself?
I play arranger's piano because I'm also a songwriter.
That's right.
I won an award for a song that I wrote. It's a very simple song. It's called "You Are My Song," and I'm very proud of that. I didn't know the song.
Do you want to sing any of that?
Well, I could.
That would be great because
you could just in time, but I could do You Are My Song.
Maybe a couple of different things, maybe that one, but since this is so special to you and you wrote this,
Yes.
and this is near and dear to your heart, I think that would be a fantastic choice to share with our viewers, Melba.
Okay, well, just let me know when you want me to start.
In 3, 2, 1. You've heard that before. Would you like to do it now? It's a nice entree or introduction.
Sure.
To it. Yeah, here is the incredible Melba Joyce, exclusively here on the Jim Masters Show live. Take it away, Melba.
Okay. You are my life. You are my song. Riddles and lines seem to go on and on. Phrases and rhyme. You're on my mind all night, all day. You are my theme, awakened in dreams, warming me, holding me, making life seem to be worth all the time. I've waited so long. Stay with me, stay with me, stay with me. You are my song. You are my life. You are my song. Riddles and lines seem to go on and on. Phrases and rhyme. You're on my mind all night, all day. You are my theme, awakened in dreams, warming me, holding me, making life seem to be worth all the time. I've waited so long. Stay with me, stay with me, stay with me. You are my song. You are my song. You are my song. Yeah. I'm an incurable romantic, so.
Well, you're on the right show for that because this is Lovety Hall. That's a beautiful song. When you wrote that, what inspired you to pen those beautiful words? I mean, you knocked it out of the park. That was gorgeous. And to do it a cappella, not always the easiest, but you're a trooper and we appreciate you doing that. But when you wrote that, what was happening? What were you thinking about? What inspired you to pen such a beautiful song, Melba?
I was in love, as the lyric describes. You know, I was just in love with this guy. I just thought he was the world. He wasn't what I thought he was, but anyway, I believed it at the time. And so it inspired me. So anything that inspires me has to be all right. But anyhow, I was crazy about him and I wrote that song because at the time he was a part of my life that was so wonderful. And that's a celebration to him. He's passed on now and it was a great guy. We had a great romance.
It's a beautiful
so that's
song.
What that song is about.
That's a beautiful, beautiful song, my friend. Absolutely beautiful. I mean,
Thank you.
Yeah, when you write songs like that, it's extraordinary. I just want to show you the claps coming in from Crystal and You
great.
Still Got It On from Merlin. Absolutely. And wonderful and beautiful. And Sherry in Kansas is beautiful. And Hey Babette is another wonderful show. Marty and I love what you do. Thank you, Hey Babette. We love
Thank
that.
you.
And Jen says, Melba, thank you so much. I'm humbled and thankful, beautiful, and wow. Wowing our audience as well. Kathleen Walker in New York City. Thank you for being here, Melba. Such a treat. Christine Clifton, Melba, welcome to the JMS Live tonight. I enjoyed jazz very much. Incredible vocals, amazing career. Merlin asked if you like singing Christmas songs. And
Yes,
you've done
I
that.
do.
And with your daughter too, right?
Yes, we did a Christmas show at City College, City College in New York. I lived right up the street from one of the main performance stages. We had a wonderful experience singing with my daughter. It was a wonderful Christmas, and we had a good time.
Christmas is a wonderful time of year, and
My favorite part of the year.
We'll definitely have to have you back around that time, and maybe you can sing some
Oh,
Christmas carols with us. We do Christmas big around here, so it would be
mhm.
great to have you back, and maybe we
I'd
can
love to come.
have you do some Christmas material as
Mhm.
well. More comments. I just want to show you the levity that's coming in. Mary Bishop's watching in Florida, and she
Mhm.
says, beautiful. Um, Somebody asked if you knew our guest who was with us last night, Sasha Dalton. She was
Yeah,
here
she's a
too.
very dear friend of mine for 60 years at least. Yeah.
60 years as well. You've known
Mhm.
Sasha. If you guys missed
Mhm.
that episode, Sasha, another phenomenal music legend, was with us last night as well. And a blessing too. And I was telling her that you were coming on, and she was all excited. So
Yeah.
it
Yeah, I
was
spoke with
great.
her. Yeah.
You did. Oh,
Yes,
that's
I did. She
great.
had a great time on the show.
We always try to make it comfortable and warm and inviting. What are some things that you're working on now? Like you said, the book. Everybody wants the book, and everybody wants you to release that album that you said you're gonna be fixing to get to work on and release again or re-release. What are
Yes.
some other things that you're working on that you're excited about?
Well, I want to do some more performances, and I'd like to get ready to go back to Europe as soon as this war is over. I don't know how long it's going to last. I know they thought it was going to be over by now, but it's just going on and on and on. And Russia is such a beautiful country. And I did I was a judge on their first harpist contest a few years ago, which was a wonderful privilege for me to adjudicate that. That it was really a wonderful festival, it really was. And when you go to a place like that, when you go to any place, it's hard for you to believe that someone would begin a war there. I mean, I never met Putin. I'm probably glad I didn't, because you don't want to be friends with people who start things like that. But anyway, I really loved Russia, and it's a very beautiful country with some very beautiful people. I'm so sorry this happening that way. I really am sorry.
Thank you to Marty Thompson, who just did a super chat. He goes, you mentioned Just in Time, great songs you sing. Absolutely. Thank you, Marty, for your support of the show.
Yeah,
That's our
thank
super
you.
chat, super sticker, super emojis you guys can do during the show to help support us. Marty Thompson, who's also a performer himself, originally from Australia. He's called the Aussie Crooner, and has performed in Vegas and you name it. He says,
Mhm.
you are in my wheelhouse of fabulous, great standards and the great American songbook as well.
Great.
Isn't that a great
Yeah.
comment? Thanks, Marty.
It's
Thank you.
wonderful. Thank you so much.
Jane's watching in Sweden. Thank you, Melba, for being here with Jim
She's in
and us.
Sweden?
Thank you. She watches in Sweden. Yes, where it's
Oh,
late at night.
wonderful.
Yeah.
It's my pleasure to be here, and I'll certainly come back.
Oh,
I gotta get back to you.
yes,
I'll
new
be back.
friendship made. Exactly. There
Yes.
was that other song. Did you want to sprinkle in that other song you were going to sing? Love
Just
to
in
hear it.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Here once again on the Jim Masters Show live exclusively is the incomparable, the legendary, the very humble, and the very talented Melba Joyce.
Thank you. Just in time. I found you just in time. Before you came, my time was running low. I was lost. The losing dice were tossed. My bridges all were crossed. Nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. Now you're here. And now I know just where I'm going. No more doubt or fear. I found my way. Hey, love came just in time. I found you just in time. You changed my lonely life that lovely day. Now you're here, and now I know just where I'm going. No more doubt, no more fear. I found my way. Hey, love came just in time. I found you just in time. You changed my lonely life that lucky day. Thank you.
Wow. I tell you. It's yeah, I mean, you're doing it with limited hydration. You are amazing. That really was fantastic. And a
Thank you.
cappella right there in your home in Pasadena, California. Thank you so much for doing that. On a whim like that. You really are an amazing talent and a very beautiful soul inside and out. When you look at this epic career, we're talking 60 years. People do. I know you get all choked up when you think about it, right? It's takes your breath away. 60 years and still going strong and so much more to give and so much more to share. What are some of the things that stand out for you? Pivotal moments, special moments. I mean, there's so many. Maybe it'll be in her book, but some really special key moments along the way. You've shared a few of them with us today on the show, which we really appreciate, that stand out and resonate with you today in this 60 plus year epic career.
Well, Vietnam was a very wonderful experience in one way and a sad experience in another. And I was very grateful that I had the opportunity to go there and to perform. And I spent that time with a guy named Gary Moore, who was a guitar player. And it's very interesting. The guy I was supposed to do it with, the one that I did the original audition with, couldn't go at the last minute. His wife was sick, and he had taken in his wife's mother, a sister. She was also sick. He had promised her he wouldn't leave. So when she reminded him of it, he couldn't go. So Gary Moore and I got together. Somebody introduced me to him on the phone. And we met near the audition place, which was on 57th Street near Carnegie Hall, and sat in the car and rehearsed our songs we were going to sing at the audition. And we did our little rehearsal, had right there in the car, and finished it and went inside and did our selections and won. So that was a thrilling time. That was a very thrilling time, an unusual time, the way it all happened, because it just unfolded just very specially, And I really remember him, and he was saying, he says, I don't know, I'm not going to, we were there in Africa, and he said, I'm not going to spend any more money because I've been spending money since I've been here. So, and I said, what is that in your bag? He had this bag, this weeds or something. I said, you can't take that over. You can't take that home. Well, I'm going to take this home, and I'm going to take it home and grow. I said, you cannot take that home and grow. When you get to the passport place, they're going to take that out. I'm telling you, you shouldn't even put it in there. It was wet and everything. There was something. He was always finding something to do. We went riding on camels, and I was on those bikes that you ride in the sand, sand.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we had a great time. And we had a great party with the guys the men who were sponsoring the trip over there. And it was just a lot of fun. Just a lot of fun, a lot of laughs, and bombs going off in the middle of the night and those kinds of things.
Yeah.
Wouldn't think that was going to happen in Africa, but it was a very wonderful experience. And I made some friends over there, people that I try to stay in touch with even now. As long ago as it was 69.
That's what's wonderful about you too, is, as you are experiencing the incredible nature of your own career, you're finding ways to pay it forward. And when artists, or anybody, doesn't even have to be in the entertainment world, when anybody does their thing, but then takes a moment to give back to those less fortunate, to those who maybe are far from home, or they just would never have an opportunity to get exposure to any of these things that any of us do. And you take a moment to shine the light on them and to make them feel good for at least, a brief moment, take them away from the reality of life. it's a breathtaking thing. And you've done that. You've sprinkled that in your career while still mastering the stage, mastering the studio, still out there doing Melba. And I think that's a beautiful thing. You've always found time to be able to do things like that. That's very important to you, paying it forward and giving back, isn't it, Melba?
Yes, it is. I was talking to Sasha Dalton about that. She did the Women's Jazz Festival at the Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture in New York that I created for women who needed exposure, you know. And that's a festival. We celebrated 30 years of it, and they sent for me to come back to celebrate it. And
Yes.
for something to go on for 30 years is a real miracle. I really
And
am proud.
the Chicago Gospel Festival she created, now
Yes, she
37
did.
years.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
guys are amazing. I tell you, you really,
We're always
you know,
looking for something to do. You know, there's always something more that can be done. So that and
yes.
my Jazz for Special People was special for me too.
Tell us about
And
that. That is special.
that was for kids who are children or people who were developmentally
Mm,
challenged, I'll say.
yeah, challenged. Yeah.
And so I had that in 3 parks in Pasadena at Memorial Park and at Santa Monica, at one of the parks in Santa Monica, and at MacArthur Park. You know, that's a very famous park in Los Angeles. It was a great success. You know, they had a chance for their families to come and enjoy it. And I had to go to a 7:30 a.m. city council meeting because I had to get them to reduce or eliminate my insurance. I would have to pay for it otherwise
Mm,
if I hadn't done
yeah.
that. But they did that for me, and I really appreciated it.
Mm,
So it's just there's a lot of work to be done, you know, behind those things that you do like that, you know.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And you,
I was thinking about doing a Melba Joyce Jazz Weekend in Altadena. There's a park here called Farnsworth Park, and it's very beautiful. Only thing is they have a lot of free concerts already, but I'm going to have to get together with the supervisor and get him to get on my side with that. But I'm thinking about doing that, just doing a weekend,
you're
you know,
fixing
every
to
week.
make that happen, aren't you?
This is to make that
Fixing to make that
happen.
happen. And I think Melba somehow will make it happen.
Yeah, if I
You're,
can get him to agree with me, you know. But since I have some history here, it's very possible. So I haven't given up the idea. It just came to me. I was like, well, what are you going to do now? You know, you need to relax.
yeah.
My daughter tells me that all the time, but there's always something that needs to be done in
There's always
jazz.
something in jazz,
I'm
right?
always trying to push it forward, like you said, you know.
The what else does Melba Joyce like to do away from the musical world? Other things that bring you joy, hobbies? Do you like to cook, garden, paint, draw? Some other things that you enjoy doing separate
I
from
like
the music world?
I like to cook and I like to draw.
You do.
Yeah, I do. And I'm a pretty good cook. I
What's a Melba specialty? We have a foodie crowd here, just so you know. One time we got to do it again. We did a 2-hour Jim Masters show, Lovity special, where for 2 hours I was reading the recipes of our viewers. They sent in their recipes, their family recipes and cookbooks, and we were sharing that, and I was sharing some as well. And I made a whole dinner. I think it was meatloaf and mashed potatoes and vegetables and wine, and it was like dinner with Jim on one of the Saturdays episodes, and it was fantastic. So you got a foodie crowd
Yeah.
here. What's a Melba specialty?
Well, I fixed something called Texas hot water cornbread.
Texas
And it,
hot water cornbread. Wow, that sounds
yeah,
delicious already.
yeah, it's really great. It's really great. And I served it to a guy that I met who's a trumpet player who lived in I think wasn't Austria. Seems like it was Yugoslavia. I had him over to my house for dinner at my place in New York, and I fixed collard greens and hot water cornbread.
Ooh.
And he really had a great time.
So hot water cornbread, what's different about it? What makes it hot water cornbread? Is it made in hot water, or do you use hot water to make it? What's the
Yeah,
secret
I'll
to it?
have to give you the recipe, and it has to be done just a certain way. The water has to be boiling hot.
Ooh, you have
And
my email address, so send it to me. Yes.
yeah, well, yeah, I'll do that.
We will try
But
it here at Lovity Hall.
yeah. So you have to pour the hot water over the cornmeal. I use white cornmeal. Used to use salt, but since my high blood pressure, I have high blood pressure now, so I don't do that. But I put a little baking soda in it, and while the water is boiling hot, you actually are cooking it, the cornmeal with the hot water, and you just keep stirring it and stirring it and stirring it and stirring it, and then you get to a certain consistency. You take it out and make patties out of it. Some people call them corn pongs. And you put that, and you have to, oh, by the way, you have to have the grease on the stove. It has to be cooking and getting hot. It will not cook properly, and the patties won't stay together if you don't put them together at a certain time and put them in the hot grease. But it's really good. It's really, really great. So when I got to Yugoslavia, this guy said, we have this at home. I said, really? He said, yeah. I said, he says, it tastes just like this. I said, you're kidding. So when I went there, we went outside and had dinner at his house, at his family. And, they had this long table outside under the trees. And we had the cornbread, but they didn't fry theirs. They put theirs in the oven some kind of way. But anyhow, it was just like mine. Tasted just like mine. I was very surprised. But anyway, it was really good. And I'll never forget that. That was a wonderful thing for to be so many miles away and cooking the same thing, and taste the same way.
Yeah,
it's really a good dish. It's a good dish, and you'll enjoy it. It has quite a bit of flavor.
It does.
It's simple as it is. It's simple. I will give you my recipe, but I want you to try it because it's not that easy to do. You think you got it just right, and all of a sudden you got too much water.
And then you're really in hot water.
Right. I really tried to make it here twice and I failed. So I got to try to get it together. I did it pretty good the last time, but I wasn't pleased because, I just thought I could do that so well. One of my friends had him over for dinner and he had hot water cornbread, and he's a filmmaker, and he named his publishing company Hot Water Cornbread. I couldn't believe it, but he did. But it was really a great.
Isn't that fantastic?
Yeah, it is. It is. It really is.
I mentioned you also had the wonderful opportunity. I mean, I listed off, and there were many more. That was just really the short list. Have worked with so many fantastic people. Smokey Robinson, Lionel Hampton. I mean, that's just really the Sarah Vaughn, the Miracles. Tell us about some of those experiences.
Yeah, well, I enjoyed working with Lionel Hampton because I was on the road with another band. I was on the road with Big Tiny Little, who's a piano player, was with Lawrence Welk.
Oh, yes.
Rag, do you remember them? He played ragtime piano. So I went to Disneyland because Lionel Hampton was there and I wanted to meet him. So I said, I want to sing with your band. So he said, well, I'll just have you audition after the gig is completed. And so I got with a piano player and I sang. He says, you're hired. I said, really? He says, yeah. He says, I'm going to call you. I said, okay. So, you have to just wait when people tell you that you don't know whether they're telling the truth or not. But anyway, he called me and he said, tell Tiny that I have an opportunity for you to come to Chicago with me to the London House, which is a very famous jazz club. Yeah. So I went on the road with Lionel. He let me go, but he had all of these stipulations. Oh, you have to pay the singer. You have to pay the new singer. You have to pay her way here, and you have to pay her the first week's salary. And that he went on, and Lionel kept saying, yes, okay, I'll do this. So we did this. But I had a wonderful experience there. I was on stage singing, and this lady was drunk, and she and her husband, boyfriend, was sitting out in the audience, and they were you could tell they were at odds. But anyway, she got up and took the microphone after I had sung and started singing the blues.
Did she really?
Yes, she did. So anyway, Lionel and I would get together and eat at night after the show. And I said, what'd you think about that lady? She was so drunk singing. He said, she almost took your job getting up there singing the blues. So, I never pack my music without the blues. I'm always ready to sing the blues. And you know, you don't have to have the greatest voice to sing the blues, but you have to know it.
You have to know it. What is
Yeah.
it about it when you say you have to know it? What is it about it? Do you have to have lived it to identify with it?
Yes.
What is it about the experience? Because it's
You
kind
have
of
to-
like country music too. There's a
Yeah,
depth
it is sort of.
where you have to almost really live it to tell
Mhm.
it in certain ways.
Yeah, yeah. And I didn't have a big band chart for the blues.
Mm,
I called my friend Rita Graham, who's a wonderful jazz artist. She lives in Atlanta, Georgia now. And I said, you know that chart you got of 7-Day Man, that
yeah.
Bessie Smith thing? She said, yeah. I said, would you mail it to me, please? Because Lionel told me, I won't tell you what he called the lady, but he said, she almost took your job. I didn't believe him. I think he was kidding. I hoped he was. But anyway, I got that music and I use it even today. It's a
You do.
wonderful blues song that talks about, I got a Monday man who cooks my beans and rice, Tuesday man, you know, who's, you know, does this, and a Wednesday man who washes my clothes and stuff like that. And these men all these men that you meet who do all these wonderful things for you. And you have to sing like a blues singer. And I learned really about the blues when I did Black and Blue, because I had to audition or learn them from Linda Hopkins, who was a great blues singer. And so was Carrie Smith, and Ruth Brown was too. And so, you know, you take all these experiences and you put them together. I had a student and I went to one of her concerts once and she was singing and she lost her breath singing. And I had to tell her, you don't leave things out when you go to another place and you learn more. You bring what you have and you add that to how you've learned, what you've learned, and you come up with a good song. That's how you come up with a good song, because you have learned different things and you put them all together, and that's how it happens.
Mm.
So she remembered that, my friend Margie. I'm telling on you, Margie. I don't know if she's watching or not, but anyway.
Welcome, Margie. You're now our lovety.
Yeah, she's a wonderful student. She's not feeling too well either. She's in a facility now, trying to get better. But she's getting better and better. I went to New York, but I didn't get a chance to go see her because I wasn't there that many days. But I love her and I talk to her often. She's a great student.
We send her love and
Yeah.
positive healing vibes from all of us here at
Yes.
JMS. Your father, Melvin Moore, sang jazz and toured and recorded with Dizzy Gillespie's big band. Huh? Tell us about that.
Yes, he did. My father was born in Oklahoma. And when he was a teenager, he was singing, and he was singing with a big band called Ernie Fields Orchestra. And so when he had heard about the Apollo Amateur Hour. So when he was a senior in high school, getting ready to graduate, but he decided he wanted to go to New York. So he ran away from home, went to New York, and sang at the Apollo on the Amateur Hour. He won first place. And Dizzy Gillespie happened to be in the audience that night, and he hired him. So that's how he got with Dizzy Gillespie. He also sang with Jesus. Boy, this memory of mine.
Hey.
This
A lot of
senior
facts
moment.
and figures, and hey.
Yeah, these senior moments come up. Billy Eckstein.
Oh, Billy
And
Eckstein.
Billy
Yes.
Eckstein. And Billy Eckstein was a great singer, but he also had a big band and he played trumpet. So my dad sang with that band also.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he had
Marty,
some
and again, a wonderful inspiration and influence for you earlier in your life.
Yes.
Marty Thompson, thank you once again. Just did another super chat. We really appreciate that, Marty. It means the world, and love you guys. You have an Ella Fitzgerald influence, right?
I love Ella Fitzgerald. I never tried to sing like her, but of course, you know, things like that kind of drift into you when you have heard a person so many years. And I heard Ella when I was 5 years old, you know, singing Smooth Sailing. Those are the kind of recordings we had at our home. And my mother played them all the time. And
Tisket, a tasket.
Right. Yeah. Yes, it was. Yeah.
Jen was asking if you ever sang with Riley B. or B.B. King.
No, I didn't. I never sang with them. But
Yeah.
my daughter had an experience with B.B. King.
Did she?
I think it was her birthday or something, and I think he sang "Happy Birthday" to her. They were on the road in some country in Europe, and
Wow.
he had a chance to meet him. But he was a wonderful blues singer, wonderful blues singer.
B.B. King. I was sorry to see
Mhm.
that B.B. King, the place that they had in New York, had closed a few years ago.
Yeah,
B.B. King's was a wonderful place.
yeah, it was. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they still have. Do they still have one in Chicago?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'll have to
Yeah,
check
they have.
in with some
Yeah,
of the
I don't
Chicago
think all of
contingent.
them. I don't think all of them are closed.
Just the New York one, I
Yeah.
think.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, true. Dinah Washington, of course. Sasha was talking a lot about Dinah Washington. Any connection with Dinah at all with
Yeah,
you?
well, Sasha had a great experience because her show was called Sasha Sing Dinah, and she did all of Dinah Washington's material, and she did a good job, and she built her career with that, and it's really been going well for her. Because I knew her before she really got into it, but she,
Yeah. Good friends even
yeah,
before.
yeah,
What
yeah,
are
we
some of
got,
those continued blessings and joys in your life, my friend, that continue to give you that desire to want to perform and create and inspire all of us? What are some of those ongoing blessings and joys in your life?
well, just keeping on working with wonderful people and wonderful musicians and other songwriters and singers and getting acquainted with them. Uh, I went to a funeral yesterday. One of my friends passed on, and Frida Payne and Sherry Payne were there, and I didn't get a chance to see them. I was trying so hard to see them, but there was so much going on, I wasn't able to do that. But I'm inspired by the singers and people who are trying to make it work for them. So, and I get a chance to talk to them because I get phone calls from New York from old friends that some of them I didn't remember. I didn't know that they remembered me, but I got a lot of phone calls when I did that Women in Jazz 30-year anniversary at the Schomburg Center, which was great. The singers were wonderful, and I'm going to be staying in touch with the producers there.
That's
You know.
fantastic. That's beautiful. Frida Payne, you mentioned Frida Payne. She was on our show as well. You're mentioning all these names who
Oh.
Frida was on the show. Scotty Barnhart was on the show. Of course,
Mhm,
Sasha, Holly
mhm,
Farris. Gang, you can
mhm.
binge watch all these episodes. They're epic. Frida Payne was on, another blessing. And it happened to be around my birthday. And then I think a few days after was her birthday. And we
Oh,
ended up singing happy birthday to one another on the show,
no, it's great.
which was
Did
so
you
nice.
did you do the traditional happy birthday or did you do the Stevie Wonder birthday?
We actually did, I think it was the traditional one.
Yeah.
Somebody asked that. Did you ever work with Stevie Wonder? Did you have opportunities
Uh,
to collaborate
I
with him at
I
all?
auditioned with him once, and he didn't choose me. But anyway, I auditioned with him once,
You did?
and when I was doing Black and Blue, I had the opportunity to go to a birthday party he had for Aisha, his daughter. She and Keita, his son, and Linda Hopkins and I went out to dinner and had a fantastic time. He's a great guy. And I also saw him here at the Dolby Theater since I've been here. Really did a wonderful performance there.
Mm,
We didn't get the chance to go backstage, so I didn't get a chance to meet him again. But anyway, he's a wonderful artist, just phenomenal.
absolutely.
He really, really is. He's written so much beautiful music, and we'll have it for years and years to come. And we sing it ourselves.
Speaking of beautiful music, are you still writing? Are you still penning songs?
I haven't written anything lately, and I'm trying to figure out what is it. Maybe it's not enough going on in my life. I probably need to get out and do more. On Tuesday nights, I used to go over to hear Barbara Morrison before she passed, and at a place called Pips on La Brea. It's a wonderful, wonderful place for jazz. And of course, the one in Pasadena on Friday nights, they have jazz at the one it's called 84, 1880, 80, 84, 14, something like that, on Washington Boulevard near Allen. If you're in Pasadena, make sure you go there because the band there is just slamming. Well, the one that I heard, and they have different people who are there, so I know they don't have anybody any less than them. But they were
Mm,
really, really great. Really, really great. The drummer was fantastic. The piano player was fantastic. And trying to remember their names. Jeez. Isn't that terrible? I'm impressed
Well,
with them.
when you send that recipe for the hot water cornbread, you can
Yeah.
throw their names in there too.
Yeah, I
Jim, it
will.
was
I
this one
will.
and it was that one.
Yeah. I did write their names down. I didn't get their phone numbers, but I'm going to be going back to. I'd like to work with them again. They're going to be at
Mm,
Dee's birthday party in the 18th of July. So I'll see them again. 18th of June it is. Yeah.
of June.
The Juneteenth weekend. Yeah. It's going to be great. I'm looking forward to that.
Somebody that's usually stops by while he's always here that just wanted to say he enjoyed himself is Mr. George Burns.
Oh boy.
There he is. As he comes
Wow.
close to say hello to you with his cigar in tow and his hanky. And he said you were absolutely epic on the Jim Masters Show live, Melba. He loved your singing. He loved your extraordinary stories, your legacy. And he wishes you nothing but continued joy and blessing, as do we. And he said you are absolutely amazing. From George Burns himself, huh?
Thank you. That's him.
There he
I
is.
like him.
That's it. I always say that my aunt collected dolls, and when he turned 100, she had to get the collectible official George Burns doll, and it eventually got passed down to me, and we bring him on the show. Here he goes. We bring him on the show. He goes down here. He's got a martini over here, so we put him over here with the other cast characters. But she collected dolls, and it got passed down to me, so we sort of scoot him on to say hello. Crystal says, "We love you, Melba." Crystal is a wonderful lovity. She's always here watching our show. We really appreciate
I love
it.
you, Crystal. Thank
Come
you.
back again to be with us.
Thank you. Well, it's so wonderful to have all these new people in my life.
Absolutely.
So we'll have to keep up with each other.
She's fixing to be back soon. Hot water cornbread is delicious, Jim. You're going to really enjoy it. So Crystal's had it. Wow.
Okay, Grace.
Jane in Sweden says, good night, everyone. Jim and Melba. She's thanking you for being here as well.
Thank you.
Hey, Babette says the history of who you are, Melba, is otherworldly. So honored to hear and see you on the Jim Masters Show. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I think it's an amazing dying art, the fact that you are a great scat singer.
Thank you, Marty.
Can you give us a wee wop a doo da?
Sure. Shoo doo, shadoo be doo, wow. Shoo doo, shadoo da do ya do, wow. Shoo doo, do ya do. Shoo wee, do ya do. Do wee, do ya do. Shut up, do 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 Shoo-dee, shoo-be-doo-be-doo, ooh. Shadoo-be-dee, doo, shoo-be-doo-dee, shoo-be-dee-doo-doo, ooh. so long. And thank you so much, Jim. It's been such a pleasure.
Wow. And so they say a little dab will do ya. And it sure did tonight on the Jim Masters Show live. You are epic. You are really amazing. And 60 years and more and counting in this industry, a very difficult and unpredictable, demanding, crazy, but fabulous and spectacular industry it is. And you've made your mark multiple times over, Miss Melba Joyce, and you've graced our presence with your fabulous talent, your wit and wisdom. Tonight, you definitely are the lady in red.
Thank you so much, Jim.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Oh, the pleasure is mine. Wow. Can you do that the same way twice? Knowing her, she can. Wishing you many more years, Melba. Absolutely. Claps. And Marty Thompson says, yay, I'm in jazz heaven, as good as Ella and Mel Torme and all the rest. She's right there with them all. The best. Oh, wow. That's awesome. Wonderful. Claps. Thanks for being here. Pleasure meeting you, and so much more from our audience. Thank you again, Melba. You're such a lovely lady, and I concur. Well, now she's a lovity, which is nice. I mean, we say, you know, there's Oscars, Grammys, Tonys, Tellys, Emmys, Peabodys, and all the rest. When you get a lovity on the Jim Masters Show, how does it make you feel? Are your feet tingling?
Oh, yeah. All the new people that I just met, it's wonderful to meet them. I'm glad they were here. Had a great time, a wonderful time.
I appreciate that. I hope that this show met whatever expectations that you had, and that you enjoyed the time with me as much as I absolutely have with you. Again, once again, you're so choked up by this experience.
Right.
Grab some water. You're just yeah, you got some water there, right?
That'll help. Mm-hmm.
You could drink on air. Absolutely. You've earned that glass of cool H2O. You've earned it.
Thank you.
But I do hope the show met whatever expectations you had, and that you enjoyed the time with me as I had with you.
I did. I had a lovely time with you, and you have a wonderful audience, and I'm so happy to be making new friends.
Well,
Hope to see you around Christmas. I'm looking forward.
Yes, we will definitely have you back. We'll set that all up. We're fixing to set that up, and and I hope when I'm out on the West Coast, maybe on a TV shoot or something, or if you're back east here, we get a chance to meet in person and break bread and have some hot water cornbread and shoot the breeze, scat a little. That would be kind of cool. And but this really was terrific. You know, I try to make a warm. I tell people these aren't interviews; these are conversations, and it plays off my work in TV and radio, and sort of, you know, like an old school talk show. Regis, Dick Cavett, Johnny Carson, Merv, and Mike Douglas, but with a modern twist and vibe. And I hope you enjoyed yourself, because this was a blast for me, my friend.
Yeah, wonderful time. Wonderful, wonderful time. I really did.
I'll be looking for that recipe too, my friend.
Okay. Okay, I'll get it to you, I promise.
You're the best. Love to you. Love to your family. Love and your daughter, let her know. Welcome on the show at any time. Keep the light on for her, and we will keep the porch light on for you, Ms. Melba Joyce. You are a blessing. You are a musical treasure, and I just really tip my hat and raise my glass to you. Thanks
Thank you so much
for spending all this time with us. You know, we chatted almost 2 hours, my friend.
Wow, really?
It never seems like that, right? It doesn't. It didn't see. It just went by in a New York minute.
It sure did.
Yeah, Sherry says thank you, Melba, and
thank you, Sherry.
I love the art of the scat singer. Chills, absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you, Babette. Thank
Jen
you
Barry says, Melba, you are now a lovity. Wow, and thank you for spending time with us tonight, Melba. Come back soon from Jen Barry in Pennsylvania. Wishing you many more years, Melba. And I know Crystal says it doesn't seem like 2 hours. I know.
No, it doesn't. It really went by fast.
Jane's watching in Sweden where it's 4 a.m.
Wow.
She's always here. She's always we call that lovity.
Yeah.
You be well, my friend. It's been a wonderful couple of hours here, and the time we spent chatting even before we went live, which was wonderful too. The laughs that we had. Oh boy, if we had just
we got some secrets, huh? some crazy secrets.
I will tell you, I will. That was something else. That was really, don't
Yeah.
ever get rid of that lamp. That lamp is now, that lamp is history. That's a historical lamp.
Right, it is. It is.
We love you, Melba. Thanks for joining us on the
Thank
show.
you. I
and
love you. Bright moments. Have a
you
lovely
too.
life.
You too. And we'll talk again soon. We'll keep that porch light on for you. Okay.
Okay. All the best.
All the best. Take care, Melba.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye now.